Hi, today I'll be the case of Lee, an auditor at the DCAA, who noted defense contracts were approved despite her audit opinion. Her branch manager insisted that her findings were not legitimate, and she took up her complaints uh, to the ladders of management only to be blocked. And she went to her coworker who avoided her and disassociated with her. And in November '05, she called the Defense Department whistleblower hotline, but nothing happened. She then took her complaints to the U.S. Government Accountability Office, and July '08, the GOA issued a report supporting her conclusion. In September '08, she testified before the Senate, and because of her testimony, the procedure and the culture of the Defense Contract Audit Agency would change. In the following discussion, I will describe the steps that Lee took based on the resolution of ethical conflict article by the IMA and Badaraco advice in We Don't Need Another Hero. IMA resolution of ethical conflict have 3 steps, and Lee took 2. The first one is moving discussion up the ladder of management. She discussed with her coworker, and then she take up the problem to the management ladder, and then she bring the problem to the Department of Defense hotline. Then after that is the GOA, and then testify in front of the Senate, which is the last one. The second step of using anonymous hotline in the article is talk about the IMA hotline, but I think the applicable hotline here is the Department of Defense hotline, and in this case is an example of a control that didn't work as designed, because the hotline didn't work in this case. Her case was being brought back to her boss, which is where the problem happened, and her bosses didn't agree with her in the first place. And the third step, which she didn't take, is consulting with her attorney. In her defense, I think that she may not have an attorney. As a government worker and facing the fear of losing her job, it's kind of difficult to come up with the money out of her pocket to pay with an attorney. Um, so this is the step that she should have taken, but it's understandable that she didn't take this step. Badaraco advice have 4 steps that I think that Lee took 2 of those 4 steps. The first thing is she tactically stalling. I think that this step is applicable because the problem happened since '05, and she had been putting a fight until 2008. So she didn't just fly. She gathered all the cases and moving the problem up the ladder. So I think that she tactically stalling her case and also picked the battle. I think that in this case, Lee have chose this battle, and she put all of her resources and all of her strength to it. I think that she didn't bend the rule. She didn't fight a compromise. She did what she truly believed, and I think that better record advice could be somewhat arbitrage. Um, put things off till tomorrow, but sometimes there would be no tomorrow, right? In the case of Fight or Fly with Michael Schaffer, Mark Schaffer, I'm sorry, we noted that after a month, his company was go into investigation, but luckily he quit before that. So what happened if you put things off and try to gather the information, and the unethical act is performed anyway, and finally you may be liable because you didn't stop it, which is your responsibility. And pick your battles and bend the rule and fight a compromise. Sometimes it could lead to uh, somewhat of unethical act being performed, and you may be actually responsible for that. So In this case, even though it's hard, I think Lee had a lot of courage to fight against this. Thank you for your attention today.